Hello and welcome back to Fashion Bites. I'm Ellen Byerrum, author of The Crime of Fashion Mysteries, writing about a fashion reporter in Washington, D.C., the city that fashion forgot. This is the spooky time of year where we all celebrate the pumpkin. People dress in a lot of orange and black and wear costumes. But have you ever stopped to think, can clothes be haunted? Now, there are a lot of stories about haunted houses and haunted bridges and haunted cemeteries, but not a lot of stories about haunted clothing. There's one story I found. It's by Lafcadio Hearn, a short story in his collection in ghostly Japan called Furusoda. It is about a haunted kimono and the curse that it leaves in its path. Then again, I've heard about a haunted wedding gown in a museum in Pennsylvania. It was supposedly owned by Anna Baker, who planned to marry a young man, but her father refused to let her marry him. She died angry, embittered. She never got married. And somehow that wedding dress made its way to a museum and was encased in glass. There are stories that the wedding gown moves on its own. Some people ascribe that to the ghost of Anna Baker. When I was researching my book, Veiled Revenge, I have a story about a haunted shawl, and I wanted to see whether there were haunted clothing. I contacted two experts at the Smithsonian Museum of American History. They are in the clothing collections there. I was able to go back to the closets at the Smithsonian and look at some of these amazing clothes, talk to these fabulous experts who have a long history, who have amazing facts at their fingertips. The museum has a collection of clothes from the 1600s in America, all worn by Americans. So I posed the question, do you have haunted clothes in your collections? Well, they didn't admit to having haunted clothing, but they said they did have a wedding dress, again, a wedding dress, that they called the bad luck gown. The gown, which is a lacy creation, very beautiful, was worn by a bride who died very shortly after the wedding. I'm sure that no one would want to wear that dress afterwards, so it's made its way to the Smithsonian Museum. And there was one other incident that they talked about. They said when interns were handling the clothes of Clover Adams, they reported feeling depressed. Now, Clover Adams was a socialite in the 1800s, married to Henry Adams, who was the grandson and great-grandson of two American presidents, John Adams and John Quincy Adams. And he was heartbroken when she died. She died young at the age of 42 by her own hand. He was grief-stricken, so he commissioned Augustus St. Gaudens to create a monument for her tomb. The statue is commonly known as Grief. Clover Adams. Is it any wonder that you'd feel depressed after handling her clothes because you've got her story in your head? There are people who say that items might not be haunted, but that they retain energy. I like to think that clothing retains something of the original owner. And that is why I'm drawn to clothes from the 1940s, because I think the women who wore those clothes were strong, they were survivors, and they were stylish. And one time, when I was going to wear this suit, the one I've talked about before, it was styled by Handmakers, a suit from the 1940s, a strange sensation came over me. And all of a sudden, I had the feeling that this suit wanted Chanel No. 5, that this suit should be worn with Chanel No. 5. Now, that is not a perfume that I consider one that's good on me. It's a little floral. It's kind of heavy. But my husband went out and bought me some Chanel No. 5 so I can wear it when I wear my Handmaker suit. And I think the woman who wore this suit, I truly believe she wore Chanel No. 5. And that might have been a trick because it must have been difficult to get Chanel No. 5 during the war years. So I just leave it to you to consider what that really means. Now, as I said, I was researching haunted clothing for Veiled Revenge. Veiled Revenge is out of print, but I will bring it back into print next year, so do look for it. But I have a little of Lacey's philosophy in one of her fashion bites, and I just want to read it here. Our clothes help us create our own aura, our own style, our own magic. Some days our clothes just do their jobs and we do ours, no magic involved. But think about this the next time you're dressing for a big event, a first date, a special party, a wedding. Is the magic in the clothes we wear, or is the magic in us? And does that magic linger in what we wear, even after we've put the clothes aside? Of course it does. That old black magic might just be a little black dress. That's my thoughts for now during this spooky season. Ask yourselves, are any of your clothes haunted, or do they simply have magic about them? That's all I have for today. If you want to know more about me, please check my website at ellenbyerrum.com. I'm also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you like these fashion bites, please hit the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss any videos. You'll get an email telling you every time I post one. It's easy, it's free. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.